Hey everybody, Chris Disc Golf here. I've had a few people comment and send me a couple messages and says, hey, what's in your bag? You know, what do you use when you're driving, or what's your hyzer disc? So I decided I'm going to do an in my bag. I don't really know why anybody would care what's in my bag, but you know, I might as well put it out there. You know, a lot of pros do this, but maybe you'll see something in my bag that inspires you to try something different or not. But anyway, so I'm just gonna go through my bag. Bag that I'm using right now, I just got this last week, is an MVP Voyager. I've only used it a couple of rounds. I actually bought a cart today too, so I can't really comment on what I think about the bag at first. Right now I am liking it, but here in a couple of weeks I may do a review video of the bag and kind of let you know my thoughts on the bag. So I'm just gonna go through my disc and tell you what I got. I'll try to keep this short. So first thing, and my bag is out of order because I threw some earlier. First thing, I'm gonna go with my mids. So first mid is a Buzz. I got a really cool B stamp on it, but I just got this a couple weeks ago. I actually traded somebody for this disc, but I'm really liking this disc. I can throw it pretty straight. It holds its line whether I go Anheuser or hyzer with it. But yeah, that's one of my mids. I have another Buzz. It's a Z Buzz. I've had this disc for several years, but I just started throwing it recently, and I threw it and got an ace. As you can see the signatures here. I got this an ace in our club round, so that was pretty cool, and I won $100. The next one is a Buzz SS titanium. I just bought this off foundationdisc.com maybe a week and a half ago. I've thrown it a few times. I'm really liking it. It's supposed to be the understable version of a Buzz. For me, I'm not seeing that understability just yet, but I can throw it on an ante and it'll hold that line, but it's not like flipping over or turning over like I thought. So yep. The next is a mid that I've had for a while. It's an MD4 C-line with the European Open stamp. This mid here, I really like this disc for something that I need to go out straight and then just turn a little to the right and then come back left. This is a really good flex shot mid. Rock 3 with the Supreme Flight stamp on it. I just got this disc a couple of weeks ago. If you see my video of my mystery box that I bought from Foundation Disc Golf, you'll know that I got this. This disc right here, for me, I'm able to throw it on pretty good high hyzer, like a spike hyzer type that you would get out of a mid. Really good disc so far. So now on to kind of some fairways and kind of, you know, step up. An S-Line PD. This disc here is a disc that I can throw straight, and if I want to just crash hard left, then I know this disc can do that for me. It's also really good for skip shots. Those 200 to 250 foot shots that I can throw it low, let it hit the ground, and skip over to the left. Very consistent for me. C-Line FD. This disc here from Discmania will pretty much hold any line I put it on. I really like to hyzer flip this in tunnel shots, or if I need a really hard turnover, something that I need to just go right real hard, maybe, you know, 70, 80 feet out and then go right, it'll hold that line really, really well. One of my newer additions to the bag is a titanium Undertaker from Discraft. So for this disc here, I can throw it on an Anheuser, but like a straight, flat Anheuser, and it'll just ride forever, and then it'll flip up, and then it just barely fades to the left. I think the more I throw it, it's going to get more understable and probably hold that Anheuser line even longer and maybe even finish right. But for now, that's what it's doing for me. So moving on to, I guess my only forehand disc that I have. I'm not a very good forehand thrower. I am working on it, but as far as like using it a lot, I don't. But I have a Doombird 3 FD3. This disc here is, I can consistently put it on that anhyzer, and it's going to come out and come back right. So I use this a lot in the woods, or if I got a really short upshot, I'll use this disc, just because it's got a very consistent skip for me to the right. Moving on to my drivers. My two of my favorite drivers. It's an S-Line CD2 with the birdie stamp and the Hook Lab sticker on it. This disc here I can throw out flat, and it's going to turn hard to the right, but it always comes back left, pretty much straight in front of me. If I aim it a little farther right, you know, it'll still come right and fade out, but I got a consistent comeback finish to the left. I like to use this disc a lot in the woods if I'm trying to get around a tree, like down the fairway. I also use this disc if I get in a little trouble, like over in the rough, and I need to throw something on an anhyzer, just because I know I can really throw it and let it turn, and it's going to flip back to flat and then fade back left. So I have another S-Line CD2 with this pretty cool dial on it. This disc here is just like my other CD2, only when I throw it, if I throw it out straight, it immediately is just going to go right and hold that. It don't necessarily turn, but it'll just keep going to the right, flat, and then it'll just slowly fade back left. So for a hole that I have that's like straight ahead, maybe 315 feet, and then it kind of veers to the right a little bit, this is what I'm going to be throwing. Now for my huge turnover shots that I need, like a Sky Annie, I guess you could say, or just something that really just needs to go a long distance to the right, I have a C-Line TD. This disc here for me, anything that I need to turn right, up to 340-ish, 350 maybe if you consider the skip, this disc will hold that line really, really well for me. I also have a DDX S-Line swirl. This disc is just a straight hyzer disc for me. It says it has a negative, I think a -2 turn on it. No, -1, I'm sorry. But it's pretty beefy for me. I can throw this thing on with an anhyzer release, and it just rides straight and goes left. But usually if I got a real long hyzer shot that I need up to 350, 360, I'm gonna pull this out and just throw a straight hyzer with it. One of my favorite drivers I have is a S-Line CD3. Now this disc here, it's an ace disc as well. I aced this in a casual round a few Fridays ago. It was actually my first ever ace too. But this disc here is just a straight flex disc for me. I'll throw it out flat, anything up to 350. It'll ride straight until about 290, 300. Then it'll turn to the right for probably another 40 or 50, and then it dumps kind of out hard to the left. So I really like this disc for some open holes where I got a little bit more room to the right where I can really get it over. If I do that with a little height and put all my power in it, I can easily almost get 400 out of this disc. So I also have an Echo DD3. This is a limited run by Discmania. I hyzer flip this disc. Even though it's a 12 speed, a real high speed disc, that Echo plastic just makes it understable, like real understable. I also throw Sky Annies with this. Hyzer flip down shorter tunnels. Usually if I have a tunnel shot that I want to throw, but then it has like a finished left, say it's a tunnel down through the woods and then back behind a tree to the left is the basket, I'll hyzer flip this down there because it'll flip to flat and ride. Sometimes it'll give me a little turn, just depends, but then once it hits the ground, it immediately skip left. So I really like that disc for tight tunnel shots. A new disc that I've just put in my bag. I'm really not sure what I'm going to use it for yet, but it's a Proto Kong. I guess now it's the Zeus. It's just 100% meat hook. I've used it on some shorter spike hyzers that I needed, like to get up and over a tree, just because I know that when I let it go, it's not turning over at all, and I can spike over it. I've been also practicing grenades with it, just because of how once it gets up on its edge like this, it's just going to come back down on that edge. It's not flipping over, it's not flipping up. So right now I'm just using it for a utility disc spike hyzer. And then probably my favorite disc in my bag right now is a Proto Hades from Discraft. This disc right here, I'm getting the most distance out of any disc I have. I can throw this thing on a real severe hyzer like this, and it just immediately comes out and pops up and then still turns to the right and comes back. A little less hyzer, turnover shot. If I let it go straight, it's just gonna ride to the right. I'm still learning the different angles with it, but for right now, on a few holes at my local course, I'm pulling this disc out right now. I'm just really loving it. Now to my putters. My throwing putter is a Sky God 3. This thing is so overstable, it just holds a hyzer line like you wouldn't believe. I'm getting about 230, 240 hyzer out of it. I could probably get more if I really put some in it, but I can throw it on a hyzer and it'll hold that hyzer line, and then it'll flip the flat and then glide down. So it doesn't like spike. So I really like that because once I get it up in the air, it'll just follow that line that I need it to follow. So I've been using this disc a lot, and to be honest with you, I can throw it a little more accurate than most of my mids. So when I'm needing a mid-range shot, for me a mid-range shot is that 175 to 250-ish. A lot of times I'll use this over a mid-range just because of the hyzer finish on it. I have a P-Line P2 for one of my putting putters. I use this if I need an anhyzer putt. Like if I need to go around a tree or I'm coming out of the woods or something like that and I need it, just because I can throw it on an anhyzer and it always comes back left. I'll also use this because it is a little overstable. I'll also use this disc from Circle 2, like the back part of Circle 2 for like a step putt. Not really a jump putt yet. I'm still working on developing a jump putt, but I think because of the glide on this compared to my regular putting putter, I can get it up in the air and it seems to hold it better. It also seems to like the wind a little better than my normal putting putter. But the putter I'm putting with 95% of the time, and I haven't realized how beat in it is until now, I'm just looking at it. It's just a D-Line P2 with a Birdie Disc Golf Supply stamp on it as well. But I use this 95% of the time. It's my go-to putter. I've got several more D-lines that I use for practice, but this is the one that's currently in my bag. So yeah, that's it. That's my in the bag. You'll notice a lot of Discmania discs. Up until 2 months ago, 100% Discmania. You wouldn't see anything else in my bag. But since Foundation Disc Golf went to all Discraft, it's made me want to try some different Discraft modes, mainly because they do a lot of disc reviews and things like that. So I'm learning more about other than just Discmania. Nothing against Discmania. I'll continue throwing Discmania forever, unless I get sponsored by somebody or something crazy like that. But I'll be just throwing a mixed bag for the rest of this year. There'll be some discs coming in and out. A lot of times I got a few other discs that I'll throw in if I'm going to a specific course, mainly if there's a lot of water holes. Like these CD2s are my two go-to CD2s. I've got two others. If I'm going to be playing some holes that's got some water, I'll pull them out because they pretty much have the same flight, but the stamps on them aren't as cool. So if I lost them, it probably wouldn't be no big deal. And also, driver-wise, I have another CD3, similar thing. It's just a stock stamp. So yeah, so that's in my bag. Like I said, I just got this bag about a week ago. I'm gonna give it a couple weeks, see how I like it, and then I'll just do a bag review. So yeah, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. If you want to see more to come, hit the subscribe button and check out all my other videos. Until then, have some fun with your discs.